cool. What up, y'all? Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. Wifey telling me my hair is out of order. It is what it is. Wasn't able to get to the shop this week. Nevertheless, I got the boxing voice in here with me today. Ness and Danny, my guys, showing love as always. Appreciate y'all for showing up.
No, appreciate the invite, champ.
Yeah, man. Ant is celebrating his son's first birthday. Okay. So shout out to Jalen, shout out to Ant. And he told me that he wasn't going to be around. He said maybe the boxing voice can come in there with you.
Is he doing something grand? I mean, people always do like these big birthday parties for young children. I feel like
we did something grand.
They're not gonna remember that
for the first one. We did something grand for the first one. Ant is so they're doing something I think at his house today. We'll be getting there after this. Sorry, you guys weren't invited. It is what it is. And then he's gonna be in Disneyland for like a whole week.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So yeah, normally I wouldn't say that, but last week he extended the invitation for anyone who's in Disneyland when he's there. If you know me, come say hi.
So he's taking his child to Disneyland.
Yeah.
At 1.
At 1. Yeah. We took ours at 2.
At 2. And so you had to be like this on all the rides.
No, it's the teacups. They could get like on the teacups and then maybe like the laser tag.
Diggy was walking and all that by then. Yeah. But at 4, and now the other one's 2, we thought it was cool. Like, let's go. No, it still ain't time. I
went. I don't remember. I have that little picture. It's my mom and me and my brother grabbing one hand each. But I don't know how old I was. I was very young though.
I'll say I've been twice.
Oh, really?
And I've been lucky because the first time I went
as an adult. Twice as an adult.
So the first time I was in like 7th grade, 8th grade.
That's old enough. That's older than me.
7th grade. I was
and all the way from Showtime, you flew to LA or
Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So Disney World. Yeah, the real one.
Yeah, the real one,
the
right?
Real one,
I didn't know there was
yeah.
another one until I moved out here.
Yeah, that's a baby one. Yeah, I'm talking about the real one in Florida. See, no, I got lucky the first time. It was actually like a like all inclusive, like everything was covered. Like I'm talking about, we got picked up in the limo.
You won something on Nickelodeon? You won something on Nickelodeon?
It was my brother. It was actually a Make-A-Wish trip, right?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Man, that stuff
man, you really won that.
Yeah, he said won that. Like it's a contest. Oh man!
I mean, they got to choose from millions of people, so you won.
I mean, yeah. I guess if you look at it from that point of view, but I'll say that I don't think I would have enjoyed it. Having gone older, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as a little kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I went in 7th grade, then I went back maybe like my sophomore year, junior year of high school, and I enjoyed it then. But I'm like, I enjoyed it because I got to go do my own thing. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, if I was in here with like my parents, no way they enjoyed that.
But check it out. Here's the thing with me being an adult. I've been twice now as an adult, never went as a kid. Disneyland right over there in Orange County. Here's the cool part about it. When you have a 2-year-old son that still cannot separate fact from fiction, they're looking at everything that around them like it's the real thing that they see on TV.
I feel that.
So I think for imagination purposes, it is good to get your son there at son or daughter there at 2 or 3, where they can still have the imagination and not have the full understanding that isn't real.
That's a costume.
You're
right. You're right.
So and we did the same thing with our 2-year-old this year when he loves the Cars series, and so. When Mater comes out and when McQueen comes out, Pooh Bear is like all over it. Like they're right there. And Diggy now 4 years old, he like, come on, let's move on. So I think it's worth it at that age, just because a kid can feel and sense it from a different level opposed to an adult or a young,
I'm telling you,
a young lad you were.
I'm telling you started them at a young age. Take them when they're teenagers.
Yeah.
When everybody could get on the same ride.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, it's like me and my brother, that was probably like the first time we bonded. Was like the second trip to Disney. No, I'm telling you, like
took a long time.
Bro, like I'm probably like 16, 17, and it's like, yo, you tall enough, you want to go on the ride?
Right.
Bro, we were just talking, he's like, I just felt like I couldn't let you down. And he's like,
that's love right there.
No,
brother cold on him.
Yeah,
that's love right there.
Because we went off, everybody else was too young, so we went off, did our own thing. But
well, hey, y'all probably don't know this, but Ant is one of the cheapest men that I know and he's pulling out the red carpet. I don't think he has a choice. I think his woman is like, it's red carpet or get out of the house. You know what I mean? So he's going out there, man. He's going to spend a whole lot of money, but hopefully they have a whole lot of fun. All that being said, let's get to what the people really want to see, and that's us recap this week, and then whatever's coming next for the world of boxing. I know y'all know. I don't know, and I think y'all already know that by now. But anyway, so we had ESPN Plus last night, and ESPN Plus was cool, and then ESPN had a little bit of a surprise for us as well. So, did y'all check out Dante Benjamin Jr.?
I did.
Cleveland
From Ohio?
native. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, we did.
I did, man. I did.
And he's very sharp for a young. I think he's 20 or
22, right?
22 now. But sharp, and I know exactly where it comes from. So no surprises for me at this point to see him put it down like that. I pay attention to the commentary while I watch boxing. I pay attention to the commentary. I love Dre and I love Tim on the commentary. It just seems like I'm thinking it and they say it, you know what I mean? So, but one thing they said about Dante Benjamin that I really didn't really agree with, or I really wouldn't say I'm in like full disagreement with or whatever, but they talked about how he needs to settle down and not throw as so many punches. He looks anxious, and I really don't think that he does. My style never really changed from an amateur to a pro, and I think it proved to work for me in terms of having a high pace through the course of rounds one all the way to the end of a fight. I think it proved to work for me. This young kid at 175, 6 foot, he's got the height, he's got the size for it. But now I think he has an intangible, but that not very many people, even at the elite at the elite level of 175 have. And it's the ability to punch in combination, the ability to be, aware offensively and defensively, and the list goes on. So I thought he looked really good last night.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a quick outing. But I would say I was impressed as well. I was gonna ask you, having fought, what are the things that we probably wouldn't expect that you look for in a fight, or that you're looking at when watching a fight?
Like a young kid,
right,
or just anybody?
Well, let's just use last night for example, since we're
with Dante, I like that he uses his jab. I think a lot of fighters, they sit back and they wait. A lot of guys don't use their jab to land it. And I think I saw that out of him last night too, that he's throwing his jab with intentions to land it. And then another thing that I like about him, again at 175, the ability to punch in combinations, 3-punch combinations, 4-punch combinations. And then he's still young enough to not be aware of, I need to pace myself, quote unquote, pace myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to get a lot of excitement from him at this stage in the game. And if he's successful doing this at this stage of the game, imagine where he's going to be when he's 15-0, 20-0, and he's been successful doing all of the things that nobody else does at 175 in terms of being able to punch in combination, move with his feet, offense and defensive awareness. Those are the things I'm looking for from a young kid. How defensively are you aware? When that power lands, are you admiring your work, or are you going to get back to your defense? So those are, to me, really professional tactics, and I see that from the young kid and Bruce, who we'll get to as well.
Yeah, for me,
that's your weight, by the way, I think.
No, hell no, not 175. Still a heavyweight. But for me,
okay.
I was just more tuned in because he's trained by Sappho and Prentice Brewer, so he already had my attention.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched him until yesterday. That was my first time seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
But I nitpick. So, I went checking the resume, checking the opponent's resume. The opponent basically was built up, so I knew not to expect much. And when he got in there, he looked significantly older than what it says on paper.
Oh, yeah.
And then he blew him out in the round. So, I text Prentice and Coach Sappho and congratulated, but there wasn't much to see there in one round versus an overmatched opponent, in my opinion. But I was happy for Sappho because I know he's been doing this for so many years. Mm-hmm. A lot of the amateurs that he has turned into amazing professionals have gone with other trainers. And now he's got Tiger and this young man, and his name is getting out there when it should have been out there 15 years ago.
Absolutely. Sappho, for anybody that doesn't know, Renato Sappho has put,
Everybody.
I want to get this. Yeah, I don't want to get this wrong, but I believe Safo has had at least one national champion in the major championships. That would be the U.S. championships. He's had at least one in the U.S. championships, if not the U.S. championships, the National Golden Gloves, if not the National Golden Gloves, the USA PAL. He's had one champion in each of those tournaments and throughout the year for the last 15 years. So he's produced a national champion and
every time out
in the last 15 years. And so you're right. It's good to see these guys finally. Well, first of all, let's say this. He's finally got some guys that have decided to turn pro or have been able to remain focused and stay on the path of the mission on track. Yeah. A lot in the past, he's had a lot of guys that have just gotten off track. And so he's got two guys right now that are making some significant noise on as I would call them rookies in the professional ranks right now. That being Tiger and Dante Benjamin as well. So yeah, you're right. It's good to see Safo now getting the recognition and getting his name out there in ways that it should have been upwards to a decade ago, two decades ago. You're right. Yeah. Then we move on. We got Bruce Shushu Carrington. He was in the ring with Lopez. Juan Antonio Lopez last night. That went the distance. Just a work night. Just a night he clocked in. You know what I mean?
For me, because I'm a bettor. So
we talked about that earlier.
You're the better, huh? I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Coria and I'm that's Norman. I'm looking at Lopez and I see only one. I believe it was only one person that might have stopped him. And I went with the decision. Luckily, that's what happened with Bruce. I don't understand though, because he's really in the pocket. I was telling that to Danny yesterday. Like, he's in the pocket. He slips a shot and he digs. Yeah. He's not just there playing. Yeah. And he prefers to be there. He could easily get on the jab and box. Yeah. He likes inside fighting. Yeah. I don't know how things are going to pan out as the competition keeps stepping up.
Right.
Is that style going to change? Because the knockouts may slow down, but he's got a very exciting style. I love that he comes in with the towel, kind of like Mike Tyson, living up to the Brooklyn side of things. So, man, I love Bruce Carrington. He had a phenomenal, outing. He did get hit a little bit too much for me. I feel like, again, he's on another level. Lopez is not on that level. Lopez was a tough guy, though. He was in there to give him rounds and very experienced. He had
35 veteran.
Yeah.
And for me, I think one thing that I considered was the fact that Shushu didn't have a full camp for this. So he was kind of like I don't want to say like a last minute addition, but maybe 2-3 weeks out. So I did take that into consideration.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Bruce stayed ready though.
He stayed ready, but you get what I'm saying? You're not going to be sparring as much as you would preparing.
I think Bruce would.
Think so?
Yeah, I think Bruce would. I think that it's just the culmination of this guy having 30 fights, knowing how to survive, knowing how to slip and slide. You know what I mean? Just those annoying pro tactics that these guys have that are not elite fighters, but somehow they know how to survive. And I just felt like that's what Bruce had in front of him last night. I think Bruce just continues to work on his art. I can't see. I do know that Bruce hurt his hand in his last fight. So maybe you're right. Maybe that did take away from him sparring as much as he normally would. But Bruce is New York through and through. I mean, you see it with the way he comes out with the towel. My man wants everybody to know where he's from, who he's representing, and who he's coming behind.
He had the nice outfit too. It was like a New York Giants.
It was smooth.
It was
montage.
Nice.
It was
nice.
smooth.
Like
but
that.
I think saying all that to say that I think Bruce, it just was the night. It was the night where I clock in and I got a guy who's gonna make it hard for me. He's not gonna stand there and just let me hit him. And not that Bruce is expecting that or even wanting that.
Right.
But I mean, you look at the way Bruce works in on the inside with the long arms. They mentioned he had a 72-inch reach, which is like that of a 6-foot fighter. You know what I mean? And he's only 5'8", 5'9" at best. So Bruce is
he's only 5'8", but you are correct, 72-inch reach.
Yeah. And Lopez
Very
had a 69-inch reach. But I do want to give Lopez credit. He landed a lot of sneaky lefts, like from like a lowered position. Remember, I kept telling you, it's just Bruce got to watch that. It was, it's not traditional, and maybe that's why he was getting hit with it, because you don't see it normally in the gym. It was just a weird, awkward, my head's down, here comes the left out of nowhere, and it landed quite a few.
How it go, Ness?
Come on, get out of here.
and it's necessary because it's like it adds, it just, that experience right there. I didn't see this punch the entire night. It kept hitting me, and then now I have an opportunity to watch it back and know that more than likely I fell asleep on this guy because he couldn't hurt me. He didn't have the kind of skills that I had. It was who they put me in the ring with tonight, and I just worked as long as I had to work. But I got hit with something along the way, So it's just gonna force Bruce to be even more proficient.
What I did like is that lead hand. I don't know if you guys paid attention. He was able to control the guy. He'll turn the guy, keep him away. He uses that lead hand, kind of like Jonnie Rice, but way more educated.
Yeah.
Like Johnny leans way too much. Like Bruce is stiff arming you, holding you back, keeping that distance, making sure the range is there.
Yeah.
Another thing I remembered is he was really good with his lead right. Remember I said that? And at first I was like, yo, he don't got no power but he's changing the speeds on the lead. Like after a while, he's seen I could just land his lead. I don't have to use the jab.
Right.
So I started getting, a little greedy and impatient. Like, it's not a lot of snap on it. Sure enough, it was that he was changing the speed so he could keep landing it all night, which he did land the lead.
What is he
right,
now, 6-0?
Yeah, he's
6-0.
6-0, changing speeds on your backhand, changing understanding.
A lot of pivots too. He's
I love
good.
The pivots, and I love like you're right, the way he can use his front hand to direct his opponent and move his opponent. Bump his opponent, he bumps him with the shoulders, bumps him with the forearm. Nothing illegal, but just very proficient at 6-0, man. And we've heard Dre and Tim both talk about him in high regard too. So
now, a very educated fighter, like I said, is going to be interesting because yesterday Top Rank showed us that they are, everyone talks about their matchmakers, but you really start to see it if you pay attention to the matchmaking, and everyone was matched fairly well. Even the fight we're talking about, like I said, he couldn't get the knockout, where some might have thought he would have. And that's credit to the matchmaking. And the rest of the night kind of was like that. A lot of these guys were tested, all their prospects.
We've been talking about top ranks matchmaking. That's all we
Brady
talk
was
about.
tested. I think the world was waiting for like something, because he's with Boots and he's in the Boots camp and his father, Boziana, trains him.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, he looked very good.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny and ironic that you got us on the show because we were doing our show and I'm like, man, I keep saying we're never going to see a Shawn Porter style, but he's like a little bit of you with way more boxing skills. And no disrespect to you, like
No, like look me in the eyes while he said that too.
No,
Gangster.
because you like to be in there. He does that, but he gets out. Did you watch that, Haven Brady? I think that might
watch him.
I think he might have. I didn't. He only got a little busted mouth, and they couldn't stop the blood. So I know people probably was tuning in, like, but very educated.
I've watched one of the Russell brothers. I don't know which one it is, but I watched him, and
he was on yesterday.
I've literally thought to myself, like, dang, like he looks like me. I didn't think that about Brady last night.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully in the comment section they tell us.
Just maybe, I'll look again. Yeah, definitely comment.
It gotta be the way that he's built. He's got the nice big shoulders, but he pivots a lot like you. Like he's always moving and turning his opponent.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was
definitely jab. Because your father always make sure to tell me that you hold records in jabbing. So maybe I gotta go watch it again. And he's not as more of a boxer, but he impressed me last night.
You want me? I watched the whole card. Did y'all watch the whole card?
Everything.
Norman Jr. and Coria.
I was a little let down because there was so much hype with this guy.
Did you bet on like everything last night?
Yes.
Damn, boy.
Yeah. But we do parlays, so it's like, we spent $20.
Yeah.
On a 5-team parlay.
I forgot y'all tell them what y'all spend anyway. So
Yeah, because I don't want them, thinking that I'm betting crazy.
But Brian Norman comes out like he stormed out in the first round. But if you take a look at the punches, definitely not in slow motion because they have a different the impact is different in slow motion. But a lot of open fists. He was landing with a lot of open fists, and those are just punches. If he's not turning it over, he never really hurt Coria. Eventually, he did, but in that first part of that, 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds,
the whole first round.
Yeah,
that gave me shades. Have you ever watched Mike Jones, Jesus Soto Carras?
Man, it's been so long. I forgot about Mike Jones.
Yeah, no, he was a top-ranked fighter.
Who?
Mike Jones?
Forgot about him.
Yo, same thing happened. Came out, jumped on Carras, and just keep punching, hoping that the ref jumps in and waves it off.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to Brady. He had to, credit to him. I'm sure he'll look better next fight. But he lost a lot of energy in that first round. He thought he was going to get that knockout. Yeah. Norman did in that first round. It didn't come. And it's like you said, I didn't see the slapping, but what I did see is that
I ain't say slapping.
Inside, right?
Open punch.
So what I did see is that he's like in love with front hook, back hook.
He wouldn't come down the middle.
Yeah.
He wouldn't come
night.
down the pipe.
I'm like, give me a straight right, and please.
It was interesting because, Coria being southpaw, and it's like, damn, we heard these rumors about you and Crawford and sharing the ring, and
feet are educated. I pointed that out.
No, for sure. But
super educated feet.
Coria looked he looked good in there, and I think that was once again credit to the matchmaking. Definitely a level up from what Brian Norman, in my opinion, had been seeing in the club shows. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still interested to see how he develops, man. He's only 22 years old, so that was his first time going 8. So definitely
that matchmaking,
how he develops. Why, Ness?
Because they kind of ruined it. And they did it with Berlanga. Don't they see that people gobble the hype? I know they need to know so that they know what they have, but do that stuff behind closed doors. Now people look at how they talk about poor Berlanga. Yeah. And the same is gonna happen to this poor guy because he did whatever he did in sparring with Crawford. So the Bud fans and the Bud haters love and hate him. So yesterday was, an opportunity to take shots at him. I think he did well, given that I've seen the Mike Jones Carras fight. He had to rematch him. I've seen guys think they could get the knockout and gas out. Brian Norman was able to recuperate, get that energy back, and never really give up a round. I never gave what is it, Cervera a round ever. No, not Cervera, excuse me.
Coria
a round ever. He was in the fight, but I don't think he ever did enough to win a round. Did you give him one?
Mm-mm. Okay. I didn't really score the fight, but it didn't look like Coria was ever able to take control.
No.
Yeah.
I like the fight as a whole because, you had that really suspenseful first couple minutes to the first round, and then it was kind of like, is that moment going to come again? And did he end up flooring him once?
He did.
In the last round.
In the last round. Yeah.
He gave us last minute excitement too because I did 2 bets. So I had one by knockout just in case the hype is real. So I covered myself with the knockout and I went money line because I'm like, he's going to get the win. Let's see if he lives up to the hype.
Well, who's in his corner? Brian Norman. Who's in his corner?
Father.
But where's the hype come from?
The Crawford sparring. He's, again, ironic. He sparred Crawford to get him ready for you.
I don't give a damn.
He made a name for himself after that.
Yeah.
Bud was in Atlanta for the Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring fight.
Yep.
So, you go to the gym, they get some work, and then, I guess he did
better than expected
for a guy who hadn't even turned pro, I believe, a guy who was,
club level.
Club level fighter, however many fights in his pro career.
Right.
So there was a lot of talk. And I'm going to be honest, I'd been hearing about him before that. And then, what I'm saying, he's in camp with Boots.
Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that guys could get signed based off of a rumor from a sparring session?
I think the most famous signing off a rumor would be Bud Crawford, ironically enough. He sparred champion Tim Bradley, and Tim was very adamant to the matchmakers and the head honchos at Top Rank that guy needed to be signed, and he was a future world champ. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and I'll tell you, living on the East, moving to the West, my whole concept of sparring has changed. I think that it is an audition and it's a fight.
On the West Coast, it's more of an audition.
And a fight. On the East, they're teaching you could work with guys and guys are working with you.
Yeah.
Over here, you fighting.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, you got to respect it, man. Got to respect it.
Did y'all check out Bryce Mills and Margarito Hernandez?
I was in and out.
Yeah.
I definitely watched a good 4, maybe even more.
Yeah.
I didn't like this. It's not even the shoulder roll.
Yes.
He was like,
yeah.
and I'm like, what the hell is that? But shout out to Bryce.
Flashing it. It was like, I'm going to flash, then I'm going to do it, but then I'm not going to do it. I don't know. It was like,
and you're right. It was always very quick, but it stuck out so far. It was like normal. I had never seen it, but there was mention of he sold a lot of tickets and he got a lot of cheers. So, you know, respect to Bryce.
New York kid.
Yeah, he was a local, the only
From
local
Syracuse,
they put on the
right?
card. Yeah.
Syracuse, I think.
So, you know, credit to him. He got the win.
I couldn't tune in. Ness had to tune in. I had to.
He was active, but lacks power. So, you know.
Looked like he'll be campaigning at 140. 10-1. Good looking white kid. You know, he good boxing style, good boxing ability, you know, for the sake of words, with being, you know, just 11 fights into your professional
that's
career.
crazy. I didn't know he was white.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't watch it at all?
No, I didn't watch it at all.
No, you want to hear the irony in this?
I heard he sold like 700 tickets or some shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
His opponent had the bigger trainer. He had Stitch Duran in his corner. I mean, I know Stitch is a cut man, but like, how does the opponent have a bigger, you know, name in the corner than the A side?
That might have been some accident shit where Stitch,
No. It came
just happened to be.
No. It's on the bout sheet a day in advance. I still got the bout sheet pulled up.
Yeah, but
Still.
your trainers
okay.
can't travel.
Show up at the fights and you see Stitch there, shake your hand and happy to meet you. We take a picture together. Oh, by the way, we don't have a cut man.
Wanna
By
work
the
my
way,
corner?
we don't have someone to and then Stitch says, if I'm available, I'll do it. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you pick up a job. And if that guy ends up being something, he remembers that moment, you end up keeping the job, you know? Mm-hmm. That's how it works for the rappers and the cut man.
Nice.
For the most part. Obviously, Stitch doesn't need that now, but at some point in Stitch's career, that's exactly how he got where it's helped Stitch get where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Brady.
So what you think of Norman?
I mean, Norman?
Yeah.
Oh, we went past Norman. I thought. Here's the thing. You have to be able to, and you guys have seen me do this. You have to be able to perform in the last round the way you performed in the first round. So if you came out and you stormed this guy, something in your camp told you that you could come out and storm him. Something in the back room before you came out for the fight told you that you could come out and storm him. There has to be something in your camp, something in the back room that tells you, if I come out and I storm and the storm doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to come out and do that the next round and the next round and the next round and make the ref do his job. That's where I come from. So when I didn't see that, I don't know if you turned off the fight when Bryce Mills was in the ring, but I kind of tuned out of Brian Norman because I didn't see him continue with that pace and with that tenacity that he started the fight with. And to me, that's if you got me off my seat in the first round, like keep me off my seat, you know. So I that's just kind of how it works for me, and that's just about it.
Understandable.
Yeah, but we gotta get to your guy Brady because you've been saying this name.
Yeah, you lead, man. What did you think? Especially now that I'm putting it in your head, he looks like in the ring.
I still didn't see me, but I agree that he can box, and I agree that he looks strong. And really not he wasn't mistake free, but he didn't make a lot of mistakes. You know, just a really good. It was a good boxing
defensively.
Match.
I mean, very tight. That high guard stays up.
Yeah, he kept
very
his
defensively
hands up,
aware.
for
I like
sure.
that about him.
Very responsible.
Just like Stephan Shaw, too defensive and responsible last night.
You said two?
Big Shaw?
Stephan Shaw. Yeah.
Yeah, I said just like Big Shaw.
Yeah.
Shaw.
Yeah.
It's too responsible.
Yeah. Outside of that, man, they talked a lot about Bozy in the corner. They talked a lot about boots. And I thought he slowed down in the second half of the fight. Or maybe his pace may have changed. And I'm not saying that your pace can't change. It just seemed like, and it didn't. It did not seem like he clocked out of the fight. Like, I got this, I'm gonna just coast. But it just seemed like he didn't continue to work and pour it on and fight and be entertaining. You know, I kind of felt that about Brady, and I felt like that about Norman as well.
Nah, I'm not. I'm exact opposite on Brady. I feel like he worked from the beginning to the end. And I was so impressed because of the movement. I just kept repeating, like, man, this guy's got amazing stamina. Yeah, he's never in front of his fighter. Like, that takes so much energy. Yeah. And I said to him, he reminds me of Frank Sanchez in the Ajagba fight. Like, at times, when he's circling the ring, he got the high guard, and you'll throw, and he'll do like Frank and block it with like the forearm and elbow. And I'm like, man, this kid is nice. Yeah. I don't know.
Is he a Philly kid? Is he from Philly?
No, he's from Georgia.
Wow, Albany, Georgia.
From Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's from the sticks.
And, you know, credit to him, too. You know, we weren't sure if that was a gallery outfit, but it was, like, gallery inspired. It was, like, spray paint blotches on the white. Yeah. Something new. I mean, outside of Devin. So it was nice, and I think he performed well. I'm shocked you thought he didn't keep, like, the same pace and activity.
Maybe it may, and again, like I kind of tuned in and out of Norman, and I thought that I was seeing the same thing out of Brady and Coria. So I kind of Ruben. So I kind of was in and out of that one as well. So maybe I just wasn't in tune enough, and especially the fact that you said he reminded you of me. It's worth to take another look at to see.
I think so.
You know, to see if there's something there in this kid. What 8-0 now, 9-0,
8-0,
8-0 now. With four knockouts. I mean,
now 9-0, yeah.
I saw something that Tim said during the fight that I really liked. Tim said he had pattern recognition. He had countered Ruben Correa at some point, and Tim said, "No, that's just pattern recognition." And enough times with somebody throwing a jab, or enough times with somebody throwing a 1-2, you pick up on what their move is going to be, and that shows the intelligence to, again.
Is that more so with the individual and something that you develop as the fight progresses? Is that more so of what they speak on when they say those fill-out rounds, or is that something that you just get as you get experience throughout your career?
It's definitely experience, but it's just education. It's what I know. I know that this guy's throwing a jab. I know that this guy's it's the pattern. This guy, he leads with the jab, or he leads with the double jab, and then he comes with the 1-2, and then he's back to the jab. He's just sitting back on the jab, sitting on the jab, you know, and you just kind of pick up on the rhythm of the fight. I always refer to it as rhythm, but the fact that Tim referred to it last night is pattern recognition. It's something that nobody's ever really said to me. But I knew what Tim was referring to when he said it. So I said, I like that, Tim. You know, Tim is nice.
What's in the other phrase that's used for that? Like when you pick up on something that the fighter is doing.
When you refer to a fighter's
is it the? I don't want to say the timing though, right? But like, what is it when, like you said, but because that's a new phrase to me, recognizing the pattern. Yeah. But I've kind of heard that just with a different phrase. It's so strange.
The one that came to mind, I couldn't think of it for a minute. You refer to a fighter being cerebral. So it's kind of the same in that sense, where a cerebral fighter can remember what I got hit with that last round, and now I'm making you miss that shot. And not only am I making you miss that shot, but I'm countering it because I picked up your rhythm.
I think that's just it. Picked up on, because I feel like trainers will tell you, like, you got to change your speed, or don't just keep double jabbing because they going to pick up on it and counter you. So you got to be different. So I threw a single jab now, let me throw a double. I threw a double, let me go throw the single to the bottom, so they don't pick up on it. I just never heard pattern recognition. Yeah. Sounds nicer.
Yeah, I've never heard that myself.
I like this, so I wrote it down. You know what I mean?
Sounds nicer.
Tim is nice. Yeah. It sounds more It sounds more, that's the college level of boxing right there, You got anything on Brady?
No, man. I think for me,
were you seeing me?
I don't know that I necessarily was seeing you. I think that you're unique. I did see a lot of pivots and obviously using the footwork.
Inside
pivots. I love the
inside.
And you gotta,
everybody goes that way. Inside.
You gotta acknowledge.
I like that kid.
You gotta acknowledge that in order to keep that. I mean, the legs under you have to be,
good
on
shape.
point. Yeah, they got to be on point. So I think that was my biggest takeaway is seeing them, have those legs for that because I think it's gonna be needed. It doesn't seem that he has the power or the knockout potential that maybe Boots has had throughout his career. I think he only has like maybe 4 knockouts in his 9 fights thus far. So I'm not expecting him to be this knockout artist, but I think that's what I was impressed with the most. And my biggest takeaway is those legs and him being able to use those legs throughout the fight.
That was kind of something that people really liked about me. Like, no, in my later part of my career, I didn't get a lot of knockouts. I wasn't staggering guys, but I was constantly moving and I was constantly active. And I didn't allow people to breathe, you know what I mean? So I think that, you don't have, you're shooting 50% from the knockout line, but at the same time, you still got this sense of pizzazz, this sense to make people want to continue to watch you and things like that. I think maybe I got caught up with the fact that I'd seen Norman fight, big, strong guy, and I felt like I was seeing the same fight again. I kind of was in and out of that one as well, so. I definitely did that fight a disservice.
Definitely Brady
Brady
more of a boxer than Norman. Norman boxer puncher, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Then Abraham Nova makes his comeback. Good comeback.
Very disappointed in this, bro.
Oh yeah?
Come on, bro.
Whoa.
Before you
Here's
lose,
why.
So before he lost to Robisi, he cut his lifetime trainer. Then you get knocked out.
Yeah.
You don't go back to him.
Uh-huh.
You hire his other fighter, Mark DeLuca, who's already been knocked out.
Wow.
You get in there and you look like you did yesterday. Yeah, he got the win. But before he got that knockdown, his confidence was out the window and he was on his way to just straight losing points decision.
Yeah.
Thank God for that knockdown.
Blue Nose to me, I think impressed the most, honestly, with his head movement,
Footwork.
his footwork.
Stamina.
I was honestly, I don't want to say looking past him. I just expected Nova to have a much easier time.
Way easier.
Way easier. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Blue Nose get sat down numerous times, and it was just something I didn't expect. Yeah, he lost to Robesi, but Robesi, you're talking about an Olympic gold medalist, one of the top guys on his way up. I was expecting more out of Nova. For me, the takeaway was Lopez and what he was able to do. I'm not sure who he's training with either. I didn't see Buddy.
I looked him up. It's another guy, but they're still out of the Blue Moon gym.
But he's not with Buddy.
No, it's Ivan Castandena.
But yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from that fight was that footwork, the head movement. Granted, it didn't last him, but I think that this was a fight that was a lot closer than the scorecards indicated.
And what happens is when you get in the ring, so I don't think fighters read into it the same way that you guys would or, fans or whatever. But yeah, he got knocked out by a 2-time Olympian. But in his mind, I just got embarrassed. In his mind, I got to come back and erase everything that everybody remembers about me. You know what I mean? So the pressure is certainly on him in more aspects than we even know. And I think that for a majority of the fight, it was like he was supposed to be in control, but it was like, while I'm in control, let me just kind of let go and let this guy Lopez do what he has to do too. I think it seemed to me like it was like Nova wanted to take control, but he never clearly took control. And he took the knockdown. After the knockdown, I don't think it was the commentary that fed you that the knockdown is what brought him to life. I think he needed that knockdown. I think the knockdown is what got him to the end of at that point, near the end of the fight is what got him where he needed to be to look strong, finish strong. Because if that knockdown doesn't come, he might be just kind of back and forth, tit for tat with this guy because I don't know who I am anymore. And I have a lot of pressure
I
my
agree
shoulders,
with you.
You know what I mean? And so I think that I'm glad he finally agrees with me, man. I was doing the best I could. I was looking at him in his eyes to
No, you're
believe
right.
me.
You hit it spot on. He was in his head.
He was in his
head. And as the rounds went by, he's probably second guessing himself. That knockdown was the best thing that happened to him and his confidence, because I'm telling you, he was on his way to a point. And Lopez is, I feel so bad for him.
I was just about to say, what we got to do is shout out to Adam Lopez.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
he provided the resistance that never allowed Nova to get comfortable, never allowed Nova to get confident in what he was doing.
And that was the main thing. He couldn't get comfortable because Adam was moving so. I mean, it looked really bad.
Yeah.
Nova trying to catch Blue Nose, wouldn't be able to cut the ring off. He wasn't landing many punches. It just, thank God for his knockdown. And I hope he gets back with his trainer, or at least seeks a new one after he sees the tape, because technically he looked bad.
And
the left hook was slappy or inside, however with the inside of the pocket. It just technically he was, I don't know. And he got tired.
And for
he got tired.
For Blue Nose, to me, I think that he looked good enough to where he gets back in the gym, keeps working on his thing. He gets another opportunity again.
I liked him.
Yeah,
I've
no,
never
I
heard
did
of Blue
too.
Nose before.
Really?
I liked him.
Really? He put down
Yeah.
Valdez.
I never heard of him.
Yeah.
Before.
Nah, he's decent. It's
I
just that
liked
chin.
him last
It's
night.
like he go down
Train-
every fight.
Trained many years with Buddy McGirt.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was surprised actually, because I was surprised to not see Buddy in his corner last night. But he looked good. He impressed. And I think he earns himself another opportunity at one of the top 10 guys, I feel like.
There's another one for y'all that happens to Nova, this fight with Robesi. It's like, first I gotta handle health. Gotta make sure that I'm healthy. I got this 90-day suspension, 60-day suspension, whatever that is. And then I have to not only handle the physical health, but also I have to handle what we all refer to now as the mental health and the emotional health of never being in that position before. There's no telling how long it took him to get back to the gym. There's no telling how long, once he got back to the gym, it took him to get into a normal routine. Now I'm in this normal routine, and now I have a fight coming up. We don't really know what his camp looked like. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So why are you saying, he looked, you didn't say sluggish, he looked lackadaisical. He looked like he was interested, but disinterested at the same time. All these things, it could have been, this fight, and the way this fight ended up ending for him, could have been the best thing for his career. Because it gets him back on track where he was not off of the tracks.
I don't know, man, because he got the win with a bad corner, and based off that performance, it probably was a bad camp.
Right.
So now in his mind, all the cheating he just did to get here is okay.
Yeah.
You fired your trainer. You being trained by another fighter.
Maybe. I'll do devil's advocate for you.
No. I text the trainer.
I just got to get through this fight. If I can get through this fight with this trainer's fighter, and then I can get back on track. I'm back on track in terms of
I hope so,
the
because I
boxing
like
world.
the kid.
Now if I can get back on track with my trainer and so on and so forth, so.
I hope so. I like the kid, 29 years old, only one loss, and like Danny said, is to an Olympian, so it's not the end of the world.
And he got a mascot.
Yeah, he got a mascot.
Bro,
the only guy in boxing to have a mascot.
Jake got a
No,
mascot.
Jake got a robot.
Bro, it's a mascot though. His mascot just happens to be a robot.
He got an expensive ass mascot. He got a robot.
Well, I mean, the only real boxer to have a mascot. Ooh, shots fired.
Jonnie Rice.
Jonnie Rice, man. I'm so happy he got that win, but he had me nervous. Very.
What'd you think of the
Come
whole-
on, Shawn. You see how Guido was? That's the best Guido ever looked. And shout out to Guido that was taking anything he could get. Let me jab him in the shoulder. I'll jab you in the chest. I'll jab you in the stomach. Discipline with the hands up, too. I can't believe he got caught with the right, because he was here. All night, he was here. The only thing he would do is, whatever reason, every now and then he'll be like, but kept that right here, and he still got his eye busted.
I feel like Jonnie Rice is a lazy heavyweight boxer.
Which is crazy, Shawn. He shadow boxes with 10-pound dumbbells. There's no reason that man shouldn't just go. He's 274 yesterday. Last fight, 286. Why doesn't he walk people down?
Yeah.
Don't know. He don't like being hit.
Yeah,
We watched
he don't like
him
being
spar.
hit.
He don't want to be hit. And I get it. Who wants to be hit? But
course.
like, your game plan can't be, I'm not getting
Stay
hit.
safe, yeah.
It's got to be, I'm going to knock him out.
Yo, shout out to
Before
Johnny.
he
Though.
hit me.
He fucking messaged me. He messaged me this morning. I'm sorry for cursing. I forgot we were on the PorterWay podcast.
Say it again, the PorterWay Podcast.
But
Get your
yeah,
act together.
he messaged me actually an hour ago. He says, "About to parlay this bread, Slim."
7-figure Jonnie Rice. Let's go.
Man, Johnny is a knucklehead. But I got to shout out Tim. Tim said this. Tim said Guido needs to be aware because Johnny is a tricky fighter. He doesn't do much, but at any point in time, he could throw a right hand and land it.
I'm glad they got
True
it
power.
right because man,
No, they almost stole it.
First of all, we don't watch it because we're live, so
Yeah.
we have the commentary, but we got the headphones on,
Yeah,
so you
we
can't
don't- we
really
can't
hear
hear
it,
it.
and
Yeah.
it's low.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know we were scared, Sean.
Yeah.
We were scared.
And I bet.
Oh, you were scared for your money.
No.
Oh,
Well,
you-
well,
you
for
sorry,
Johnny,
Johnny.
too, because
No,
Johnny
I
got
just want-
6 losses,
I just
and
wanted-
he's turning it
Can't afford
around.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
just
turning it
wanted
around.
the right decision to be made, and it was made, and it seemed like that ref might have got a couple dollars or something before, because he was just adamant like it
What was
a
that? Benji
headbutt.
Estevez, right?
Benji.
Yo.
I like Benji.
Oh, you know what?
Not last night. Not last night.
Disclaimer. I like Benji. And
He
this
said,
is
I ain't see no headbutt. What?
talking about.
I'm like, no, he said, I ain't see no punch. I seen
I
the
ain't see no
headbutt.
punch.
I
Yeah.
said, what?
When did you see a headbutt?
It was immediate blood, too. It was
Yeah.
like, boom, gushing.
First of all, look at the fight that you're watching. One man leans back off of everything that's being thrown. There's no way Jonnie Rice will ever be in a fight where there's a head collision because of the way that Johnny fights. So here's the thing. You look at the psychology of this fight. And the psychology says that Guido is the Olympian. Guido is the A side. Guido is supposed to go on and do big things. And so even though he's reffing the fight, he's not judging the fight. His mind is turned on to see everything that this man does right. And if this man does anything wrong, I'm jumping all over him. And you have the psychology of boxing gets in the way all the time. So then you take it a step further. Why isn't the replay initiated around the world of boxing?
Thank God for the Indian reservation.
We already know that you have 4 different sides of the ring. So at any point in time, 2 judges might not see what the other judges see simply because they're on the wrong side of the ring. Kind of is what it is, So from that same standpoint, the referee, there's only one set of eyes in the ring, may not see everything, may see something a little different than it actually happened. You need replay.
Absolutely.
You need replay. The replay's in the NBA now.
It's in every sport.
It's in every sport.
Even baseball now they got the replay, and actually the minors are trying out like the electronic umpires.
Boxing should be ashamed of itself because the last time this happened, it took Mauricio Suleiman, who was at the fight because it was a WBC fight for, I think, Sonny Edwards, to overturn it right then and there. If it wasn't for him, we'd have to wait for commissions and managers to petition and file a dispute with the commission, and the commission's going to review it, and they're going to sit down with 3 officials and have them watch the fight and tell us how they came out to that conclusion.
Let me tell
crazy.
y'all what I know. I know that TV never wants to be wrong. TV always wants to be entertaining. TV always wants for whoever's watching, tune in right now. If you want to watch boxing, tune in right now. It's not going to cost the commission anything. It's not going to cost the promoters anything to initiate this replay. What would you call it? The replay law or whatever rule. It's all a matter of boxing, just doing the right thing.
Well, they have it in New Jersey, I'm pretty sure.
They're supposed to have it in Nevada.
Certain states have it. I think that it should
That's the
be
biggest issue. We're not
universal.
We're state to state.
Yeah, we're not universal. We're
needs
not
to be
universal.
universal.
I think at a minimum they
Sad.
should do something. Baseball implemented where
What they call it? Do they call it the universal rules about? What do they call it?
the ABC,
The ABC
rules. ABC rules.
Make that a part of the ABC rules.
How they got their own TV network, but they ain't got replay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
It don't
what I'm
make
saying.
sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm glad that I'm just sitting there, I'm tweeting about it. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. It's awful that they're allowing this referee to make the decision that he's making. All the while, all these
other officials,
all these officials around the ring, y'all saw what happened.
And the replay is playing, so someone else
Plus
from the commission,
right.
they could just get up and say, hey, look, maybe you should say that we came to an agreement. Another official over here seen it, because they're running the replay on the Jumbotron. Like the fans get to see it and get upset.
Did you give Johnny any rounds before that happened?
I probably gave him maybe 1 or 2 rounds. I remember being dangerously afraid that he was about to lose.
Yeah. The right hand happened in the end of the 6th round. And all the way up until the 6th round, I gave Guido every round.
Pretty much.
But here's the right hand right here. I mean, just
flush.
And it's not even a legit right hand.
The left hand falls. I mean, that looks like a legit right hand.
You the fighter.
Look, all that body.
Look at that back
all
foot.
That body.
Look at that back
That's
foot.
the Jonnie Rice right hand.
You supposed to bring that back foot with you. If that man lands the right hand the way your father wants him to throw it,
yeah, he out of there.
Guido sleep.
He out of there.
He's leaning. He's reaching.
He's a lazy fighter. He's a lazy fighter.
He's trying to.
I don't want to say lazy, man. He got. I don't know, man.
He's a lazy fighter, and that laziness forced his guy to be lazy, and it's contagious. That's why you hear a lot of elite fighters say, "I can't wait to fight somebody that's on my level," because we know that we try our best not to fight down to our competition, but it's infectious. You can't help it. And right there was the worst moment for Guido, because that may have cost his career, maybe?
Oh yeah, he's probably getting cut. Because we've been, as fight fans, we've been noticing that he wasn't the goods.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they cut Gabe Flores, Gabe had sold more tickets here locally. You know, he had more reason to stay on the roster. I don't know that Guido is still with Top Rank. Maybe they give him one more. They've been doing that, right, Danny? They've been giving them 2 losses before they cut them
Man,
down.
I don't know. Ever since the draw with Kingsley eBay, they've been throwing them on little small bullshit cards. His last fight wasn't even, it was like in Italy or something. You know what I'm saying?
No, but both of them. Even Ajagba had a strange comeback fight.
Yeah, I think it was off TV in Minnesota. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, he probably done.
But just like the Bryce Mills kid, probably just stay in New York, fight in New York, be a great New York fighter, make money, and
I mean, he don't want to. You mean Guido stay in Italy?
Stay in Italy.
No,
do you think Italy?
He could get a matchroom deal. They do got
he
the
just
zone.
fought in Italy. Jay McFarland, the dude's like a legend in Scotland, and he only fights in Scotland, and he's huge out there, and he's making 50,000, 40,000 a show out there, and he ain't fighting nobody.
What is it? What is it? Like a 1%? Of the world of the fighters who turn pro, 1% of them become a world champion.
Oh wow, is it that low?
I don't know what the percentage is.
I don't know the percentage. I know it's tough.
Yeah,
man.
he trying to flex. Like I did that shit.
I know it's tough.
But what I am saying is, and then we'll move forward. But what I am saying is, the world is not for everybody.
I ain't gonna front. It's good that you did it twice though, because in this day and age, like we literally respect 2-time champs more. Like I double down, like but that's a 2-time champ, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
It's hard to get back to it.
Like Ray Beltran became a champ, and I like to say, Pacquiao helped him. Bob Arum, everybody, he was this long time sparring partner for Pacquiao. It's like, let's get this guy, and they put him in a position. He had to win the fight, but they put him in position. Do that shit again.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do that again.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
2-time champs is not a lot of y'all, man. Let alone 3 and 4. You know what I mean?
But what I am saying is, wow, a lot of fighters are chasing the world and are going to come up short. It just is a fact of life. Why not chase Italy? Why not be an Italian champion? And
I think subconsciously, you're selling yourself short, or you're telling yourself you're not good enough. If you say, hey, man, let's go corner the market in Italy because we got buzzed down in America.
But I think sometimes, and I don't even want to get too deep into that. I think sometimes it's just being aware, self-aware with yourself and who it is that you are. You know, we see the kid, the Popeyes kid, the fat kid that they made a meme about for having the Popeyes drink. Bro, now he got a Popeyes. He's from New Jersey. He's from like Newark or something. He got a Popeyes. He only playing D2.
He's looking at you like you're supposed to know.
He only playing D2. But I'm saying he knew, yo, I can't play D1 ball, but I'm good enough to play D2 ball and still get money from Popeyes. So, you know, if you grow your fan base, you know.
I don't think it's over for Guido. I think we're being too hard. I mean, he's got an entire team that he can fire that isn't they're not boxing elite.
Fire everybody before you go home and just be
I don't know,
for
man.
real. I mean, look, you don't got world-class trainers in there.
I'm just saying you got to think about it. He got to draw and a loss in a world where Elvis got cut after one loss to Kenny Sam.
And I get it, but Elvis ain't a heavyweight. Guido's a heavyweight. He's a good-looking heavyweight. And yesterday was his best performance ever.
You're right.
Someone can capitalize on what we seen yesterday. I watched all his fights.
Sacrifice him then.
I know yesterday. What you mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I truly agree that yesterday, up to that point, was his best performance. Sacrifice him, throw him in there. We were just talking. Jared need an international name.
Why? That's what I'm saying. If they want to cut him, cool. I'm saying for Guido Vianello, get a new team. He ain't got not one of, and I'm not trying to say we're superior, but he don't got no American. There's no elite level guy in there. No one we know. Everybody is from Italy. There's no one there. Change that shit up. Come over here. Train over here. And, you know, we'll see what happens.
If you're trying to be a champion over here, you're trying to be a star over here.
That's true.
You can't be sparring over there where you the king of the hill.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like when he was over here, we saw what that led to. Like, we saw his fights. He wasn't, like, he didn't sell none of us.
Same team, though. Same team. I know that he never looked like he did yesterday.
I agree.
Jabbing, movement.
I agree.
And the discipline. He got caught. It's a fight.
Efe Ajagba and Stephan Shaw.
Super disappointed. I thought Shaw was about to have a coming out party. I know this guy since he was 0-0. I've been watching him spar Wilder. I said there's no way. But Ajagba, that reach, 81-inch reach, and it was just like a battering ram. He just kept.
I think he outworked Stephan Shaw.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Shaw was just he was just too worried about what's gonna come back. So in the first couple of rounds, I'm like, yeah, he's disciplined. Oh my God, look, that right hand is glued to his chin.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, it's literally glued. He's not gonna throw it.
Yeah. No right hands.
None.
And the majority of the right hands he threw, they did fall short. He just.
I gotta ask.
And so my fault, but there's a difference between, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't care. It is what it is. There's a difference between Jonnie Rice being a lazy heavyweight and Stephan Shaw not stepping up and working at heavyweight. Stephan Shaw just chooses to be very accurate. Nothing wrong with that. He chooses to be very methodical. Nothing wrong with that. But he has to do what, again, I'm going to keep shouting these guys out. Andre Ward said he's going to have to start taking some risks. If you don't take risk, you don't get reward.
Yeah.
And all the while, this guy, all he doing is just using his jab. He's just being more active than you are.
But you're saying a jab, because I was going to say, yeah, Stephan was using the jab a lot, but not even enough.
No.
Not even enough.
Jab. Yeah, amazing jab Stephan Shaw has. An amazing jab. And just will not throw it with intention. You're throwing it 3 or 4 times with intention, but then you're throwing another 3 to 5 times without intention.
Barely seen the right hand to the body.
Shawn, I can't help but ask, man. Like I said, we don't really have the commentary while we watch the fights.
Right.
But I did hear the name Jared Anderson come up, and how
quite a few
that
times.
fight prior to the main event kicking off, and how if Big Shot pulled it off, that fight was in line for him. And I heard it at least twice. Do you think that maybe we saw him very happy, we saw him dancing? Could there be any part where
he didn't want that?
He was like, man, Frank already laid out the blueprint shit. I'm looking at Jared now.
Yeah.
Because, we had him on the show.
Oh, you think he was looking past Ajagba?
I'm just saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was extra confident.
He was dancing, having fun. I'm not saying that's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But we had him on the show. Jared's name came up. Lou brought Jared's name up. ESPN and Top Rank prior to the main event kicking off. is saying Jared's name as a possible 2023 opponent for Big Shot Shaw. Just throwing it out there. Do you think that maybe he could have been like, all right, Frank taught me how to do it to Efe. You know, I got this, and I got the big fight with the youngin next.
I just feel like Stephan Shaw was content. And this is a game you just can't be content with because you don't know if those judges are as content as you are. He's content.
I can't even
landing
believe
the jab.
he was content, man.
I
can't believe he literally rolled on his face, his IG. He thought he won that fight. I was so pissed off, especially as a friend. Like,
yeah,
because I feel like I didn't need to be the one to call you. Like, champ, what's up?
Yeah,
like, you really think you won? Like, where your real friends at? Come on,
I had my
man.
fingers crossed that he won. You know what I mean? I met him years ago, and we've been cool ever since. I had my fingers crossed that he was going to win. I would have called him and advised him not to take the fight with Jared Anderson immediately because you still need to get yourself where you want to be. Don't get yourself where Top Rank wants you to be. Mm-hmm. Create your own path, okay? And if Top Rank ain't allowing and willing to allow you to move the path that you want to move, then cut ties and go do what you got to do. But I don't think he's ready. I think it's clear now that he's not ready for Jared Anderson.
But what?
And I didn't want that.
But is there time for development? I mean, let's be real. Lou's been developing this dude for years off TV.
For me, it's not really about development more so than it's about positioning himself to make more money. So if he gets another win or another 2 wins against whoever that may have been, he gets more money in a fight with Jared Anderson. Or Jared Anderson.
What's the likelihood of the losers fighting in the? I mean, Johnny ain't gonna get the Ajagba fight because they already fought. But Guido and Shaw, nah. Damn, y'all ain't like that.
It's just a pointless fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not picking up the phone. Like, yeah, babe, get the outfit ready because we got to be ringside for this. It's just like a pointless fight. You get what I'm saying? It's like
I think Stephan Shaw was in a position where he had to step up and he did not step up. And it was a very disappointing performance. It was, as my notes say, not a world championship pace for either fighter. That was not a world championship pace for either fighter.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Jay Prince throws Efe in there with Jared now? Because they're both his fighters.
I could see that. That's the talk. You know what I mean? If that's the plan, that's the promoter's plan, then you know the plan.
But they didn't mention
that.
They only mentioned it if he would have lost.
They only mentioned Big Shot Shaw that I heard of.
Yeah, it feels like Jay Prince has already laid that down that he's not putting both his fighters in there. They work in the same gym.
It sounded to me like on ESPN they were saying the winner of this fights Jared Anderson.
Really?
Or could potentially fight Jared Anderson.
Yeah,
it was a crossroads fight because Stephan Shaw hasn't been there and he's almost 30 years old, if not 30 years old. And then it was a cross fight for Ajagba because he's got one loss. So they were saying, hey, this is the fight to get you to the wolf.
I mean,
wow, both of them are being served. I didn't know that.
That's what it sounded like.
Damn, sir. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, bro, you train in my gym? Yeah. Because you know me.
What you think about Jonnie Rice and Jared Anderson?
It ain't gonna go well.
For Johnny, right?
Yeah, for Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny won't take it though. And I hope I ain't saying that and he takes it as disrespect, but like the way he talks about Jared, I'm just saying, Johnny, I feel like you might not take it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to play him. It's just like when we talk about the spawn with Jared, he make it clear like that boy's different. So it's like, well, then why you gonna go in there with no headgear?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. Yeah, Johnny, I was just happy he got the win. Obviously, this is now his 3rd straight win with a guy that's got 6 losses. He needed this.
Absolutely.
And I was very upset that the commission almost ruined that for him because, he doesn't have a big manager or promoter or advisor, so he's just waiting around for phone calls. And when they come, he jumps on it and he capitalized on that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm happy to see
he wasn't a house fighter in this situation.
Really quick, I did want, before we left, Shawn, was with you in DC, but just your thoughts on the event, the fight, and
hell of a night, man. That was a night. I had very choosy words about the way the matchup went between
Hector and Tank?
Yeah.
What specifically?
No. Between Rashidi Ellis and his opponent opposed to Boots Ennis and his opponent.
Okay.
I felt like the opponents should have been flip-flopped, and I felt like they should have done a better job of promoting Rashidi and Boots getting in the ring next. And I just thought that
Go back to flip-flop. Why flip-flop? Because you think stylistically would have been better fights?
Stylistically, it would have been more appealing fights. I think you would have gotten the resistance that we feel that Boots needs to have. You would have got that from
Vija.
Yeah.
But I think you're wrong.
How so?
Because they did what they were supposed to do, right? Like Boots is the puncher, Vija is the puncher. They put them in versus boxers because they know them boxers gonna move, so the puncher gotta get them. If you put two punches, you get the collision. So now you got Rashidi and Karen fucking running around the ring.
Gonna run around. And this is what I did just to make myself know that I was right. I went and watched that Karen kid. I watched 2 fights. He comes to the center of the ring and he boxes. He comes to the center of the ring and he uses his hands. He used that style because he knew that that's what he needed to survive against Boots.
So you're saying we wouldn't have seen that version?
We wouldn't have seen that version against Rashidi, and we would have got a more exciting co-main event fight because you got the truck against the truck. And we know one truck is better. It's way better.
What did you think of that fight? Who did you have winning?
I had Rashidi winning that fight, even with the 2 knockdowns.
Me too.
Even with the 2 knockdowns.
What rounds you gave him?
And that's crazy. You take those 2 knockdowns
I
away
gave
on the
him 1
official.
through 8, and I thought 9.
Damn.
I thought 9 was close.
Bro, I gave him 1 through 6 and 8. So he had a draw on my card. Minimum.
Yeah.
But you gave him 6, 7, 8 as well. So I don't understand, man. I want, and again, that's because we have nothing centralized. But if we did, those old men don't deserve to be there. There are fighters starving that don't have jobs. Chop Coley's still taking punches out here in Las Vegas gyms. He could be a damn referee.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, champ. I don't know that I want Chop scoring none of these fights, man. You know
Come
what I'm
on,
saying?
man.
I'm just saying, brother.
Fighters know, bro.
Sometimes,
We know.
yeah.
Nah,
see.
all the time. All the
We see.
time, bro. They've been in the ring their entire life. They know exactly what's going on. It's a damn shame that week after week, you know, a fighter has to be put through what Jonnie Rice was put through, bro. I wouldn't know how to act, man.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe, I was so happy Rodney ran over there and was like yelling at the ref because I'm like, no one's going to do nothing. Everybody's just standing there waiting for the outcome, waiting for this poor man to get robbed. Like, man, B-Zap Judah, throw a chair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. You can't just take out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Nah,
Like,
I mean,
he had to fight one and it was about to give him a loss.
We talking about $50,000 to $100,000 on, like, right
a
there.
fine?
No. I'm saying right there, Johnny loses. How much is he gonna make in his next fight as a loser versus now as a winner?
Exactly.
You know
Not only does his pay drop, man, it's just it's unfair, and I do think that is the answer. There are dozens, you know, of fighters. Like, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't mind being a referee. Yeah, you're retired now, but it's not like real work. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to put in 8 hours, 40 hours a week. Like, you're going to go ref a fight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a ref, but what's coming next in boxing, man? I have no clue. Just want our viewers to continue to watch, and I need to give them something to look forward to. What can they look forward to?
You know, we got the devastating puncher, the light heavyweight champion, Arthur Batterby defending his crown against Yard.
Yeah.
That's the ESPN Plus fight on January 28th. Definitely all roads seem to be leading for David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, pay-per-view in March.
Right.
That's a
Going
fight.
too fast, champ. You got this generation's Roy Jones Jr. He fight next week.
Oh yeah, Chris Eubank is back next. Junior is back. He back.
What, you don't like that? Yo, don't nobody do that triple left hook like Chris Eubank and Roy.
Yeah, he back next week on the zone. Let me see what's going on.
We're supposed to have Andre Ward in the studio next week. Remember, we penciled that in. Remember, yeah. So I'll get on the line with Dre. Hopefully we get Dre in here next week, and we're gonna have some fun with Dre next weekend before we bring him in. You know, we like to do the Doom Buggy situation. So
No way.
We might make that happen.
Oh,
Yeah,
you don't like Doom Buggy. Don't try to come Doom Buggy with us.
You know what I mean? Might do a paintball situation next week.
Count me out.
Okay.
Count me out.
Yes. Cannot forget. So February 3rd, you got Top Rank. I'm gonna be honest, main event's trash. All right, we got Emmanueal Navarrete against a guy nobody heard of.
Oh yeah. Williams, right?
Australian fighter.
Williams.
Liam Wilson.
Just met him.
Wilson.
Just met him.
Yeah, but you do have co-main Barboza Pedraza. That should be a good one at 140. And then a lot of the young guys, Lindolfo Delgado, Nico Ali, Xavier Martinez, Andres Cortez, Emiliano Vargas, Richard Torres Jr. So definitely, I know we'll be tuned into that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm in New York. I do want to see the ladies go at it. Amanda Serrano, main event. Alicia, co-main event.
Yeah, my fingers crossed for that too. Hopefully they get my girl on there, Shadeja Green. She's supposed to be on that card.
You got Ramla Ali on that card, Sky Nicholson, Richardson Hitchens on that card as well. So that's February.
That's right. Richardson, you know him?
Yes, sir.
He's going to be fighting Juan Bauza. Tune in. Bauza, people sleeping on Bauza. Richardson's my guy, so I'm picking him, you know, because, man, I know him before he turned pro, but Bauza trained in my gym in Jersey. That kid ain't no joke. He's no joke. I hope Hitchison knows.
Strong kid, right? Bowser?
Just a good boxer.
Yeah, good
I don't
boxer.
know. I don't know if he's got power like that, but I feel like he's a very good boxer, super duper in shape.
Okay.
It won't be stamina.
And then definitely February 25th, the Can Man. The Can Man makes his return to the ring
That's
in
right.
Atlanta. BOK Prime, Adrian.
They stacking the card too.
Versus
heard
Ivan
it.
Redcatch.
A lot of local cards. I've been getting hit up. Maybach Hot is on it.
Yeah.
What's your man? You know him too. Green. What's his last first?
Vic Green.
Vic Green's fighter. Maybach Hot is on it.
And then I seen my other guy, one of his other fighters is on it too. I can't remember.
Bell?
Nah, it's one of the small fighters, like a 122 pounder.
yes, the one we made. Ahmed.
Yes, he's on it though. But yeah, Tevin Farmer versus Mickey Bay co-main
He's on
event.
Oh, wow.
Co-main event on that.
BOK grabbed that, huh?
Yeah, and then there's a PBC show that day that I don't want to speak on only because there's been like 3 different reports.
No,
about
it's happening.
But who?
But we don't know who's the main event.
Exactly.
But Sabril Matias is gonna be fighting for the vacant IBF.
Yeah, but
that
see,
day.
that's not even the main event. That's
No, I know, but
Yeah.
he's on it.
Right, no, I know, but there's been numerous different conflicting reports about, so I don't even want to...
About the main event.
Yeah, so I don't even want to touch on that, but there is a Showtime card that day, the 25th, so once that's confirmed, I'm sure Shawn will let his audience know. But yeah, you know, Plant Benavides pay-per-view. I'm looking
buddy.
forward to that.
Yeah, buddy.
And then, you know, Shakur's back April the 8th
Right.
in Brick City.
Now we getting into the springtime, so let's my audience said that fast. So let's slow down. Love y'all.
Yeah, he about to go into summer. Then
Well, no, I mean, just talking about some
May
of these big
20th.
fights.
May
You know, it
20th,
looks
you
like-
got Vasil and
it looks
Loma.
like- it looks like we got Haney and Loma for
What the
May.
hell?
Yeah,
You said now you're in May?
May 20th.
May
No,
20th.
so I said
But
stop.
It's a big fight though.
Yes.
But I
big
said
fight.
stop.
Undisputed.
we gonna get there. We
Maybe-
gonna
Out
get
with
there.
the old.
That
Maybe
is
in the
gonna
Middle
be-
East.
That is gonna be.
They talking about Abu
You making
Dhabi?
a trip? Abu Dhabi?
If Abu Dhabi paying for it.
Tell them.
I feel that.
Get my promos in right quick. We are here at Blue Wire Studios inside the Wynn Hotel and Casino. Definitely want to thank and let Blue Wire Studios know we appreciate them for hosting the PorterWay Podcast. Rival. Y'all go to rivalboxing.com right now. Promo code TPWP 15. You get 15% off any, and not every, but any, a lot of the equipment up there. You get 15% off. Promo code is TPWP 15. And I have a motivational message for you guys. I'm gonna lead this. As y'all know, I do the motivational message at the end of every show. This one came to me yesterday while I was watching Stephan Shaw and Efe Ajagba. Separation equals success. Neither of those guys last night did what they needed to do to separate themselves from the other and make it evident that I'm winning this fight. If Stephan Shaw had his hand raised, I would not be arguing at all. I'm not arguing that Efe won the fight. And I'm a Stephan Shaw fan, supporter, the list goes on. You have to separate yourself from the things that are going to hold you back from being successful. A lot of people think that they think that they can't leave home. A lot of people think that if I leave my city, if I leave Chicago, that means I'm turning my back on Chicago. It don't mean you turning your back on your Chicago. It means I'm doing what I have to do to succeed. And that means me leaving this neighborhood, leaving the same guys that are on the same block doing the same thing that they've been doing for the last 5 to 10 decades, whatever the case may be. Separation equals success. You can expect to get anything more out of life than what you're giving it. And if you're around the same people or you're around the same environments doing the same things that you've been doing for however long you've been doing them, but you want more, you want the vet, but you're not doing what it takes to get the vet, you have to separate yourself from doing the same things, being repetitive in order to succeed. So that's my motivational message today. Separate yourself from anyone or anything that may be holding you back from being successful in life. You get enough separation, you'll find out, oh, I never really even needed that. Oh, I never even needed to do that. This is all I need to succeed. Separation equals success.
Let's go, champ. Appreciate that.
This is the PorterWay.